Okay, so let's take a look at problem 1 on the next page. It says the cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper is $13.25. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper cost $17. Find the cost of each. So since they're asking us to find the cost of each, that means we don't know the cost. If I don't know the cost, then the cost is unknown, and we should know by now that the variable represents whatever is unknown. So I know my variable is going to represent cost. Specifically in this problem, the cost of a box of envelopes and a box of notebook paper. So let's say E is the cost of a box of envelopes and let's say that N is the cost of a box of notebook paper. Okay, so we defined our variables. Now I need to write my system. So what they do tell me is that I buy 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper the first time, and that actually comes to $13.25. So I know the cost of the envelopes would be 3 times however much the envelopes cost, plus 4 times however much the notebooks cost, gives me a total of $13.25. The second time I buy only 2 boxes of envelopes. So 2 boxes of envelopes plus 6 boxes of notebook paper, and that equals a total of $17. No cents. Okay, so here I need to solve for one of the variables. Okay, again, this is set up for elimination method, so that's what would be easiest for me to use. If I look here, the smaller numbers are 3 and 2, so that's the ones I'm probably going to eliminate. I have to think, what is the least common multiple of 3 and 2? And that would be 6, which means I want both of these coefficients to be 6 so that I can eliminate. So the top one I'd have to multiply by 2 is hopefully what you said. And the bottom one I'd have to multiply by 3. So I'm going to do times 2 and the bottom one by 3. And I'm actually going to write it over here to the side. So I know I get 6e, okay, 2 times 3e, 2 times 4n, gives me 8n, and 2 times 13.25 is 26.50. Okay, and then I do the same thing for the bottom. 3 times 2 envelopes gives me 6 envelopes. 3 times 6 notebooks gives me 18 notebooks. And 3 times 17, that's 30 and 21, so that gives me $51. Okay, now since these two have the same sign, I know I have to subtract here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract. So 6e minus 6e gives me 0e. 8 minus 18 gives me negative 10n. Okay, 26.50 minus 51. 26.50 minus 51. So I know this is going to be negative because I'm taking away more than I have. So I know I'm really doing 51 minus 26.50. 51 minus 26.50 actually ends up being 24.50. So I know this is a negative 24.50. I divide both sides by negative 10. This means that a box of notebook cost $2.45. $2.45. So I know how much the notebooks cost. It asked me how much each of them cost. So I figured out how much the notebook costs. I now have to figure out how much a box of envelope costs. Okay, so I have 2 options. I would probably think that you would choose the second one because there's no decimal there. So I have 2e plus 6n equals $17. And we know that the notebook costs $2.45. So I'd write 2e plus 6 times $2.45 equals $17. Now I know you have a calculator on your phone. I suggest you use it. 6 times $2.45 gives me 2e plus 14.70 equals $17. I would subtract this 14.70 from each side. Again, I suggest you use your phone calculator if you have it. And this leaves me with $2.30. So I have 2e equals 230, which means if I divide by 2, that e actually equals $1.15. So I need to write this in a complete sentence now. So if I come over to this side, so I just found out that the notebooks, a box of notebooks costs $2.45 and a box of envelopes costs $1.15. So that's what I'm going to write. A box of notebook paper costs mess that up. Costs $2.45, and a box of envelopes cost $1.15. Okay, so that's problem 1 on the second page. I suggest you pause the video right now, go ahead and do problem 2 on the second page, and when you're ready, go ahead, unpause me. We will move on to the third page for your third example problem.